Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to the Shobitam Trunkshow and a very happy Navratri to all of you. Today is a very special trunk show where we're going to celebrate silks. Really, there's no other fabric that comes to the beauty of silks, to the softness, to the sheen, to the royalty that they exude. And there's so much history to it. We'll get to it in just a minute. Hope everyone who's watching is having a very good Navratri season. Golu hopping, Durga Puja hopping, and all the festivities, Garba, Dandiya, and so much fun. Another 30 seconds. I think we should get started because we have so much to showcase today. Our trunk show today is loaded with silken treasures. Let's talk a little bit about silk, right? They say that silk originated in China 5,000 years ago, but there is textual evidence in the Valmiki Ramayana of how Sita got silk garments. So, silk production may have happened in India long ago, much longer than it actually happened in China. And there are so many varieties of silk, four main varieties of silk. And, silk is one fabric that is considered not just royal, but it is also considered very auspicious. It is offered to gods and it's offered in yagnas. And when you think about it, the beauty of it, it is unmatched. And when sericulture became popular in China, it was a guarded secret. Nobody was told, how it was so coveted, basically. And then trade routes opened up. There was the Silk Road that got established. Then it moved to Europe. Silk became popular in Rome. And silk continues to dominate in today's world. And it's not just the opulence of the silk fabric, but there are some technical things also about silk which make it preferred. For example, if you have a wound and you heal it with just bandage versus a bandage that has sericin, which is basically the protein derived from silk. Sericin is an antimicrobial, it's an antioxidant, and it is supposed to heal wounds faster. They talk about scrunchies, they talk about silk scrunchies now, and how it actually does better for your hair. So, silk has a lot of good properties too. And here we are celebrating authentic silks today. And the reason why I stress so much on the authenticity part of it is, there are a lot of polyester derived fabrics, art silk, that look very similar to silk that are sold as pure silks, but they are not. Pure silk is very different. It's a lot harder to procure silks. They are much more expensive, and we are all about the authenticity aspect. So, pure silks are a class of its own. I am wearing a pure silk sari today. This was a sari that was favorited by Vidya Balan. And the reason why I chose this particular sari today is because it's that perfect amalgamation of a Kanjivaram and a Banarsi. So this is a Banarsi sari, which means it's a sari that was woven in Banaras, but it comes in a Kanjivaram checks pattern. And look at the colors in the sari. I really loved it. And it's got zari checks, it's got multicolors, and it's also got very dainty buttas, kind of like your Kanjivaram pattern. And the pattern, the zari pattern too, looks very Kanjivaram like. So yeah, so I thought this would be the perfect sari for today's Silken Treasures trunk show. And on that note, let's get started. Now, the codes for today. Um, there is a sale that's going on. So there is really no special trunk show specific code today. There is a special sale that's going on. And I'm going to reveal the details of the sale in just a bit. Okay, so there are three tiers of discounts today. Anything above 199, you apply the code 5 FIVE to get 5% off your order. Anything above 499 USD, you apply the code 7 SEVEN to get 7% off your order. And then anything over 999 and above, you apply the code 10 TEN. So you get up to 10% off. The more you shop, the more you save. So those are the three codes: 5, FIVE, 7, and 10. And on that note, let's get started. So we're going to start with Kanjivarams first. We have a fresh patch of Kanjivarams that are just off the loom. And we're going to start with our Korvais. After Kanjivarams, we have our fresh patch of Mysore silks. And then we have something very exciting today, which is our Paitani clutches and trays, something that we've never showcased before. And then finally, we get on to our Banarasis and Gadwals. So let's start with the Korvai Kanjivarams. So here is a brocade sari, and all of these are new designs. Check this out. It's a purple brocade sari, and it comes with a Ganga Jamuna border. On this side, you have a green and purple dual tone, and on the other side, it's a hot pink. And what's different about this particular sari is typically you see brocade in the borders as plain body. This is just the opposite. So it's very novel. And look at the horizontal design brocade. So it's very different. And I'm going to quickly show you how the sari drapes. So all of these are new designs. They look very different. And here is the first sari. Look at this. And it's very soft. It's not starched. We tell all our weavers not to starch the saris because, some saris need starching, but, when they're not starched, it's definitely a lot more easier to drape them. So here is your first sari. Look at the wide borders, and it's got 3 lines of zaris. So it looks very different. And here is your first sari. It looks very classy, very novel. So here is the first sari, and for those of you who are new to the Shobitam Trunk Show, the way the Shobitam Trunk Show works is every product that I showcase to you, the links will be posted on Facebook. You click those links, you will be taken to the product page. A lot of you ask for the price. Now, if you click on the link, you will see the price in your currency. You will see more photos, description, and so on. And because you cannot have clickable links on Instagram, what we do on Instagram is we post the code. So you enter that code on shobitam.com, you'll see the same details again. So that's how it works. So here is your first sari. The links and codes are being posted. Now on to our Korvai beauties. Now Korvai is your magical sari, your magical a Kanjivaram sari that gives very, very rich contrast. Look at this. And the rich contrast is possible because this is woven separately, this is woven separately, and then they are interlocked in between. And that's why you'll see, if you look at it closely, you'll see that it's not a perfect line. You'll see those ridges, and it's because it's been interlocked by hand. So here is a very beautiful, authentic, pure silk Kanjivaram Korvai color in a dual tone, and it's a beautiful sea green dual tone, a blue and green dual tone, and it's got this heritage Mail Chakram or your peacock wheel motifs. And look at the very, very nice borders. You can tell these saris are just fresh off the loom. That's why they don't have the fall picot tassels yet, but they will be ready to ship before they are uh, sent. And look at this. Very, very pretty sari, very classy combination, a combination that is here forever. So here is your first sari, and the border too is like a reddish pink color. And look at the dual tone. I really love the mystic element of the dual tone. So here is your first sari. Here is the gorgeous pallu, and always, it's the contrast color, the border color, which is the blouse piece. So here is your blouse piece with zari border on both sides. And this particular sari has equal width borders. So equal width on the top and the same width in the bottom. And these are the tassels that I'm talking about. Look at this. So every Shobitam sari is ready with fall picot and tassels, so you don't have to worry about it. And all silk saris come ready to wear with your tassels as well, because I feel that a sari, a silk sari especially, is incomplete without these. And I'm going to show you another very, very similar sari. This is also your korvai. We are going to do the korvai weaves first. And this is like a pista green, a light pista green with a korvai maroon, a red, actually a red contrast, and a greenish red selvage. So here is another very pretty sari. Again, your heritage Mail Chakram Buttas. Now these saris are always, always very sought after, and you cannot go wrong with these. And like I said, it's the authenticity part. You will see a lot of similar saris, but these are 100% pure silk and pure handloom saris. So here it is. The next sari is again a stunner. Again, a beautiful korvai weave, this time in a beautiful sunflower yellow, a vibrant yellow, perfect for your haldi events and others. It's got the retipate border or your two-line zari border with a green selvage. Look at this here. Very beautiful, and it's got these Annapakshi motifs on the border. So here is your next sari, and let's see what the pallu looks like. So beautiful Rani pink pallu. The border is a reddish pink, as you can see, and the pallu is a pink. So here is your next sari, and this would look very vibrant when you wear. Look at this, how bright, how beautiful it looks. So here is your next sari. Moving on to another korvai, this time with temple borders. Look at this classic. Temple borders, oh my god. And this one is a light dewy green color. It's not off-white, it's not your green. It's like a green, it's like off-white with just a little tinge of green on it. Look at this. And very, very pretty combination. So it's got the zari temple borders, which are inspired by your temple architecture, and these little ridges here in silk. And again, a sari that you cannot go wrong with. And look at this stunner. Very, very stunning. I'm sure when you wear it, it would be even more dazzling. Look at this. Beautiful, hand-woven, authentic, pure Kanjivaram silk sari with two-side temple zari border. And then for those of you who find these saris very difficult to wear, see it's coming all the way up to here, who find it very difficult to wear, we can get these saris pre-done for you. So the saris will be pre-pleated as per your waist measurements, your height. So there is no bulking in the waist. So here is your next sari, and this is how this one looks. Let's check out the pallu. So beautiful pallu, look at this. Beautiful zari pallu, and it comes with a pink contrasting blouse piece. By the way, I do want to emphasize that all US orders shipped, in the US are absolutely tariff free. There will be no surprise fees, no hidden costs, nothing. What you see on the website are the final prices. So you can shop worry free. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on WhatsApp, on Facebook, Instagram, email. We are here to hear you out and help you out with it. So but basically you can absolutely shop worry free because there will be no tariffs charged at delivery. Let me move on to those sarees now. Another dazzling Korvai sari. This is your navy blue with a red contrast. These are your classic colors. These are your heritage combinations that never go out of style. And look at this navy blue. Look at the sheen of the sari. And look at the beautiful red borders. It's about 5 inches wide and a deep green selvage. And let's see how this one looks. A stunning pallu. Look at this zari drenched pallu, and this particular sari drapes very, very nicely. Yeah. If you like deep colors, Kanjivaram is all about color contrast, zari work, and this sari has all the beautiful elements of a Kanjivaram. Take a look. So here is your classic Kanjivaram in a navy blue and red contrast with your Mai Chakram buttas and a lot of zari work on the borders, equal width zari borders. So here is your next sari, and look at the dazzling. Okay, another heritage combination, I would say, this is your reddish pink. It's basically the color of the most common type of rose, that reddish pink rose. And it's got these long, ornate zari buttas with the green border, equal width green border. So here is your next sari. And then the weight of these saris, oh my god, these are very, very high quality silks, I can tell you. There have been no shortcuts, anything. These are absolutely high ply, pure silk saris. So look at this. So for those of you who love deep colors, here is your next sari. Moving on to lighter shades. This again is a stunning korvai. This time it's a dusty color. It's like a dusty rose, very, very light dusty rose with navy blue borders. It's a very novel combination. You don't get to see this a lot. And look at the buttas, ornate peacock buttas and elephant borders, equal with borders again. And a very, very beautiful combination. Let's check the pallu. Look at this. These are classic pieces, pieces that are not just investment in authentic products, but also investment in your joy. So here is your next sari, and look at this. I love this color combination. Dusty shades are in, and here is your next sari, and this is the pallu. And the blouse piece is this blue. Now, if you want your blouses tailored from us, we can absolutely do that for you. Your measurements, your choice of pattern for a flat rate, as long as the fabric permits. And if you want handwork done on it, we can absolutely do that as well. So here is your next sari. I think it looks super gorgeous. One thing I can tell you, it's not easy to put these products together because we typically have about 200 products that are released on the trunk show, but to handpick and put that final curation of products that are going to be showcased in the trunk show, it's not easy at all because each piece is, better than the other, makes it very difficult. But here is your next piece. Okay, another very different color, and it's a super stunner. It's your reddish pink again, but this time with an off-white combination. It's very easy, it's very common to see light color body with a deeper background, with a deeper border, but this one is the exact opposite. It looks very different when you have lighter colors framing bolder ones. And it's a really, really wide border, maybe like a 10-inch, and it's like a light ivory color, equal width on both sides. That makes it really grand. Look at the stunning pallu, and here is your sari. And like I said, it looks very different when you have lighter colors frame dark ones. And look at the beautiful buttas on the body, and it's a dazzling dual tone sari. So here is your next hand woven beauty. The link and the code are being posted. Check this out. Check this out. It's your lagoon blue, I would say, a dusty shade of blue, not the very bright ones, with a vermilion border. So it's not your bright orange, it's not your red, it's sort of a shade in between. And it's got these beautiful damask zari buttas on the body that are just blending so nicely with the sari because the sari is light colored and equal with border. And look at the really wide border again, like an 8-inch border. And this is how this particular sari drapes. Look at the pallu. Each piece is a dazzler today. Stunning, stunning saris. And another thing I'll tell you, it's raining in so many parts of India, especially in the south. So the production of these saris are really, really slow. And it's harder to weave saris. There are more mistakes, that happen during weaving. So if these saris have seen the light of day, you have to take them because there is not really much production of silks this time of the year with the rain. So here is your next dazzler. It looks very different. Here. Moving on to some borderless saris, because a lot of you love borderless saris too. So here is a eggplant color borderless sari, and it's got gold and silver zari buttas. Look at this. This is gold, this is silver, and they alternate. It's a deep eggplant color, similar to what I'm wearing. And it comes with a zari pallu here. and a plain blouse piece. And look at this, look at this. This is how this particular sari drapes. Borderless saris are in, and it's got a very different zari buta pattern in gold and silver. Another borderless beauty, this time in a dusty amethyst shade. Look at this. And almost all saris that I'm showing you today have gold and silver on them. And these saris look very nice with the contrasting blouse piece. Now this one look very nice with a deep purple, like a velvet blouse. Look at the zari work on it. And this is how this particular sari drapes. Very novel, very contemporary. Here, take a look. So here is your next sari. A peacock blue this time. Peacock blue green. Look at this. It's like the neck of a peacock. Depending on which direction it turns, it departs a different color. Sometimes a blue, sometimes a deep purple, sometimes a green. So here is your next sari. Look at the mandala motifs on the sari with deer. It's got deer inside mandala motifs, and gold and silver again, muted gold, muted silver, and they alternate. And very stunning sari again. It's a moss green. Look at this moss green and blue dual tone. Look at this. And look at the colors. That's what dual tones are all about. The mystical effect that they impart. So here is your next sari with your medium shaped mandalas. And here you go. And here is your dazzling pallu. So this is your next sari. A bottle green this time because many of us love bottle green. And again, the same design, the deer design. I'm going to quickly show you same zari border, zari pallu, and look at this. These buttas shimmer like stars in the night sky. So here is your next sari, an authentic pure silk Kanjivaram in bottle green, borderless design with gold and silver zari buttas. All right, so here is something different, another borderless, but this time with your silk checks, your blue silk checks. Look at this closely. Look at the silk checks on the body. The blue is lighter and there is a mustard also. And it comes with a Rama green contrast. Looks very different and looks good. So here is your sari. Look at this. And it's always like this. In the top where it is more prominent, the buttas are more denser. And then as you go deeper inside, they are a little bit more scattered. So here is your next sari. This is the pallu. And here is the blouse piece. Now all these saris just came fresh off the loom, which is why they're not done. But every single sari that I'm showcasing to you today will be ready with fall picot and tassels. So here is your next sari. All right. Again, a very, very warm welcome to everyone who's joining in. We have a very special trunk show that is celebrating silks of India, primarily our Kanjivarams, our Mysore silks, because those are the saris that are just in. And we have a few Banarasis, and then we have stunning Paithani clutches, Paithani trays, all in pure silk. And for those of you who are wondering what the code for today is, we have 3 tiers. There's a special sale, festive sale that's going on. If you shop above $9.99 USD, you get to use the code 10 TEN for 10% off. If you're shopping above $4.99, you get 7% off. Use the code 7 SEVEN, and then if you're shopping above $189, the code is 5 FIVE. Look at this stunner. It's a parrot green sari with your checks. Looks very different. These saris are really in, and it's got a blue and yellow border, checks border, and your temple motifs also in blue and yellow. And there's a little bit of a zari detailing here, just a single line, and looks very novel. And it would look perfect with this blouse piece, with this blue blouse piece with the zari border. And look at this sari, very bright, very cheery, and look at this. You can mark your presence with this sari. So here is your green parrot green sari with checks border and temple motifs. I'm going to show you another beautiful temple border sari. This time it's a black, it's like a brownish black, and look at the yellow border. This combination is really, really in. For whatever reason, I mean, it looks good. I wouldn't say whatever reason because it looks good when you wear it. And it's got these temple borders and two lines of zari. And here is your next sari. Charming, isn't it? Okay, so another sari, very similar to what I showcased earlier. This time it's in beige with a green and pink contrast. And this is how this particular sari would look. So here, this is how this particular sari would look like. I'm going to show you another very similar one. It's like a heather blue, so like a gray blue contrast. And this one has pink and yellow. Look at the dazzling pallu, and the sari would drape like this. Very normal, looks very nice, very different. So here is your next sari. Another check sari, and then we're going to move back to our korvais again. Look at this. It's a blue and yellow, very similar to what I'm wearing, except that it doesn't have purple in the body, but it has a blue. It has a blue contrast, and these saris are in. These saris are really in, and this is how this particular sari would look like when you do it. Next up is a very beautiful sari. It's your chartreuse with hot pink. Look at this. It's a charmer, and it's got small buttas on it, very very small zari buttas on it, and look at the grand zari borders, equal with borders like your 7-inch borders, and then you have these temple motifs as well, and then a very very beautiful pallu. And here, look at this, very pretty sari, very very pretty sari. You cannot go wrong with this. So here is your next very stunning Korvai Kanjivaram silk sari. A few months back, you saw Vidya Balan in a beautiful Kanjivaram, a mustard with a deep blue border and a peacock blue selvage. This is very similar except that it has checks, but the exact same combination. And here, look at this. Very pretty, very bright sari, and your heritage. It's got your heritage elements, the color combination, the zari work, the handloom charm. So here is your next sari, and this is the pallu, and it comes with the contrasting this color blouse piece. So here, let me show this closely. So here is your next sari. Moving on to your short border with saris, and we have a few today. Look at this. Look at this. This is your Ananda blue, or like your turquoise. A turquoise blue with your mustard border, shot with very small buttas, just like chundri buttas, a little dot here and there. And korvai weave again, and very stunning sari, very beautiful, very charming. Look at this. And it drapes like this. So here is your next sari, short with border. Next up is a short with border with your Vairausi. A lot of you ask for Vairausi. Vairausi is your zari stripes, and this one has your peacock and wheel, and this is your classic biscuit border. If you're wondering why it's called biscuit border, have you seen glucose biscuit, the underside of it? It's got these small triangles when it is put on a baking sheet. So that's what this resembles. It's your biscuit border sari. Again, your heritage borders. And here is the pallu. The beauty of Vairausi is the way it glistens. You know, the way it reflects light. Look at this. And here is how the sari drapes. It would look very, very nice, very elegant, very royal, with a deep green, with like a bottle green blouse, full sleeves blouse. So here is your next sari, and Vairausi in deep maroon color. Next is a chartreuse, a beautiful green yellow dual tone, and with red, actually a maroon shot with border, and a green selvage. And look at this. And green and maroon, very beautiful combination. And this is how this beautiful sari drapes like. Yeah. Next up is a peacock blue. Check this peacock blue. This is called your raindrop buttas. Look at this closely. It's called your raindrop buttas, and classic magenta and your brown, like your biscuit brown color. And this is the classic, very traditional pallu. And here is your sari. I've said this before. People think traditional is old fashioned. Traditional does not have to be old fashioned at all. It all depends on how you style it. So here is your next sari in a beautiful peacock blue dual tone with raindrop zari motifs and short with borders. One more short with border sari before we move on to our other saris, other categories. This is a rose pink, a very light shade of rose pink with your off-white ivory color short with borders. It's got zari checks running across the body of the sari. So very beautiful, very subtle, understated color and looks very elegant. Here is your pallu, and this is how this particular sari drapes. All right, so let's move on to the other saris that are waiting. Moving on to your rising border sari. Look at this color. Your beautiful lagoon blue with a dusty mauve rising border. It's called rising border, or it's also called Air India border because of these lines that go up. So the beginning of the sari just starts, way below, and then this border gradually rises, and it looks very unique when you wear it. Look at this sari, and look at this, very pretty, very different sari. Here is your pallu, and it comes with this dual tone blue mauve dual tone blouse piece, just like the border. And here is your next sari. Very different, don't you think? Okay. Moving on to two pure zari kanjivarams. Now, all zari has, all zari, they have gold and silver, but in different proportions. But when you talk of pure zari, the content, the amount of the proportion of gold, the proportion of silver is much higher. So this is your pure silver sari with your geometric rankad design. Look at this. And all the zari, the silver in it is pure. And look at this, comes in dusty shades. And this is how this particular sari drapes. And this is completely hand woven, and it's pure zari. So it's a very, very statement piece. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you look very, very closely, and I want to be upfront about it, you will notice that the lines are not straight, it's not even. And this unevenness is because the density of the silk and the density of the zari is different. It's very natural, and this is how the sari drapes. It looks not just very novel, but it's also a very elegant piece, made crafted in pure zari, and it's pure handloom as well. So here is your next sari. Okay, another pure zari sari. This time it's like a strawberry and maroon minute checks. Your puri katam, very, very, very small checks. Look at this, very small checks, which show only when you look at it closely. And look at this pure zari borders in antique gold, and they're about 7 inches wide both sides. This is your pallu. Look at this, very beautiful pallu, and it's a pure zari sari with a higher percentage of pure gold and silver in the zari. So here it is. The sari is not starched, so it's very pliable, very easy to drape. And here is your next sari in pure zari, pure silk handloom. It cannot get any finer than this. Here. Moving on, This time it's your Mubagam, your three-part sari. One, look at this, one, two, three, three-part sari, royal blue, a beautiful chartreuse with minute checks, and then you have a hot pink. And here is the sari. This is the pallu. The pink is the pallu, and it would drape like this. It would drape like this. Look at this. So all about colors. You know, Indian silks, Indian culture is all about celebrating colors, and the sari has all the elements. Here is your next sari. Another very unique sari. It's got a very wide zari border, almost like a half border. It's your peacock blue on the top, a purple on the bottom, and it's got peacock zari motifs in gold and silver. And this is your pallu, and this is how this particular sari looks. So there's no border on the top and a very, very wide border in the bottom. Another interesting sari, this time it's a checks. This one is starched. I can feel the stiffness, but you know, it gets pliable when you wear it. Look at the dazzling zari border, and it's a very beautiful sari in your cream and biscuit tones, and it's got these peacock motifs, peacock zari, peacock feather motifs, and it's also got this grid. So it's, you know, done very finely. You got the elephant, you got the flying horse, your Annapakshi, and look at the very intricate grid and very beautiful sari, and will look very charming when you drape it. This is how the sari would look. Look at this. Look at this. Very unusual sari. Here it is. Out of the ordinary. Okay. This time it's a bottle green with an ivory contrast. Again, when you have lighter colors frame, there it adds a very unique element to it. So here is your next sari. I'm going to quickly show you the next one. It's your borderless with just thread budras on it. So for those of you who love understated elegance, here is an ivory color, actually a light beige color with maroon thread buttas. And this is your thread border pallu. And here is the sari when it is straight. Popular colors, they're always popular colors this season. Next one is this, and look at this. It's actually a very interesting sari. It's got it's got buttas, and then it has these turning designs or your wavy designs. So they alternate. Looks very novel when you drape it. Here is your pallu. It comes with a contrasting blouse piece for a pop of color. And look at this. Looks very different, right? So you have a wavy design panel, then you have your buttas, then you have your next wavy design panel. Looks very different, very interesting when you wear it. It makes people wonder. So here is your next sari in pure silk Kanjivaram. Moving on to our Ganda Berunda motif. Now this Ganda Berunda motif has been so sought after, so many of you are loving it. So here is your Ganda Berunda motif sari, Korvai border. It's your yellow and lime green checks and black borders. And it's actually not black, it's your, they say snuff color or your deep brown color. Here, look at this. Very charming, very novel. And here is your Ganda Berunda. Next one is your classic Annapakshi. How can you have a jewelry sari chest without your Annapakshi motifs on it? And a really, really prominent, distinctly placed Annapakshi motif. Look at this. It has the bill of a duck, bill of a swan, and then the feathers, the plumage of a peacock. And the Kanjivaram saris, Banarasi saris, if you notice the motifs, they are designed to be mirrored, which is why if the head is towards the body, the head there is also closer to the body. So if it is showing upside down here, it is there for a reason because the motifs are designed to mirror. So here is your next sari. I'm going to quickly show you three more before we move on to our Mysore silks. And hey, we have something so interesting today. Check this out. How about you take carrying a laptop bag like this to work? Look at this in pure Paithani. So we have all these coming up after our Mysore silks. Okay, so I'm going to show this without really opening it. So here is your off-white with your equal width corvée borders in a deep eggplant and rani pink. Look at the gold and silver zari detailing. Very, very classy sari. And then you have your off-white and red with zari checks podikattam. Your podikattam with your buttas. Another very, very classy sari that you cannot go wrong with. One more Kanjivaram sari, and we're going to move on to our Mysore silks. So the last sari that I'm showcasing today, and trust me, we have many, many more saris that got released, but it is practically not possible for me to showcase every sari in the short window that we have. So here is your dusty mauve brocade, and it's a beautiful Vanasingaram with your peacock motifs. Look at these peacock motifs. Very beautiful shade with plain borders. There's nothing going on in the borders. That's what makes it stand out. And look at this piece. It looks very contemporary, very charming. And look at the shine from the brocade work. It blends perfectly with the dusty color. And the silken borders, they stand out. They really stand out. And here is your next sari. Let's check the pallu. Look at the pallu with zari work, and it comes with a plain blouse piece. And here is how this particular sari drapes. And on that note, we're going to move on to our Mysore silk sari collection next. Again, that's a category that's very, very popular on Shobitam, and let's move on to it. You loved our small border saris, so we thought let's bring some more. We have a few. I'm just showcasing one. This is a blood red Mysore silk, bold and beautiful color. And look at even though the border is small, there's so much detail there. It's got your elephant and peacock motifs. Mysore silks are very fluid, they're very minimal. And here is your chit pallu, just lines on the pallu, and it flows like water. The sari just wraps around you very easily. And here is your blood red Mysore silk sari with minimal zari border. All the saris that I'm showcasing to you today are KSIC grade thickness, which means they are 100 GSM or above. So here is your next sari. Here is a charming rose pink, rose milk color. So the color of rose milk against a plum, and minimal borders, just like how Mysore silks are intended to be. And here is how this particular sari drapes. I'm going to show you another sari, very similar, same border design, just to show you some contrast. So here is a rose milk color, and here is like a sage, kind of like a light olive shade. Look at this, exact same design. This is how this particular sari drapes. This is how this particular sari drapes. Your sage green again looks very classy, very minimal, very classy, very effortlessly elegant. So your sage green against an emerald contrast. Next up is a brownish black, the snuff color that I was talking about. It's not your pure black, it's like a deep brownish black. And I thought it looked interesting because it's got green borders, your emerald green borders, reticate borders. And look at this. Black and green, pure Mysore silk sari with 100 GSM density, and here, this is the green border. Next up is a blue purple, like an ink purple sari. And It's got three colors on it. This is the blue purple, this is the turquoise, and there is a dash of pink, Rani pink, deep Rani pink. Look at this. It's called three-tone work or 3D work. And here is your next sari. And then we have more colors on each of these. This is just a small sample set. So here is your next sari. Next one, we have checks, beautiful blue. And it's interesting because it's got so many zari designs on it. The top is stripes. Then you have these staircase designs. Then you have a different kind of checks here, more minute checks here, look closely. And then finally this border. So here it looks very different when you wear it because people are wondering, what's going on. There's something here, there's something here. So here is a beautiful blue and a plum combination, pure Mysore silk sari. Here. Two more before we move on to our Paitani clutches. Here is a brown, kind of like a, it's not the exact same brown that you see, but a deeper shade. And it's got this Ganda Berunda motifs. You loved them the last time, and we thought we'll get something which is, smaller. Look at this. So your Ganda Berunda motif, single line only, very minimal yet very prominent. And here is your sari, and look at this. Look at how this material falls, right? It's a dream to just drape it. You don't have to worry about maintaining it at all. So here is your sari, and look at the beautiful Ganda Berunda motif. I think this will look very nice if you did a blouse with just the Ganda Berunda motif, handwork on the back. Would look very nice, very regal. So here is your next sari. And next one is your moss green or your pasi pache with your plum border. And look at this. That's the beauty of Mysore silks. And then this is how this particular sari drapes. Now we're going to move on to our next section, which we've never done before. And it's actually quite interesting. So let's move on to that. All right, check this out. Cool, right? This is pure silk handloom Paitani weaves that are crafted into clutches, and it looks small but it's mighty, and it holds your max. So here is a beautiful clutch. You can either carry it by its handle and then or a sling style, whatever you prefer. And it's got a little compartment inside, for if you want to put a little lipstick inside, a little credit card, driver's license, whatever. So here is a beautiful clutch. This one is a deep purple green dual tone with a line of border. This is the back side. And here they are 100% handloom pure silk Paitani clutches. I'm going to show you a few. You can see which one makes best sense for you. Here is a similar color but a different color border. So this is pink, this is green. Then we have a moss green, or actually like a lime green. Look at this. Then there is another style. Look at this. These do not have the handles, but they have the sling. So here, and then look at this. Very charming. And then check this out with your nut. Look at this, your classic Marathi style nut in pearls. And look closely. And check these potli bags. This one is your tissue in the front, the back. Look at this potli bag with the nut. It's got plenty of room inside. Plenty of room inside. You can carry it like this. They look very nice when you carry. Look at this. Very festive, very different. And check this out. And more styles. Look at this. Now, these are not crafted from saris. These are actually woven just to make these clutches. And check this green one out. And here, look at this. Handloom wonder. And then we have these in three colors. Same design, but three colors. A blue, a mustard green dual tone, and your classic emerald green, which is your very, very auspicious color in your when it comes to Marathi Paitanis. So here it is. And then, isn't this super cool? Imagine taking this as a laptop bag. It's got the zip here, and then it's got foam padding here to keep your device safe, and there is another compartment in the front. Very cool, and I love the color. Look at the zari detailing, the tissue detailing, and the zari work in the back. And then one more. This is your handbag. It comes in a gray dual tone. Look at the zari work here, and look at this. Very cool, right? Here. And that's not all. Check these key holders. Look at these key holders. We have them in two sizes. This is pure authentic uh, Paitani tissue and hand woven just for this. And it's got this hook here. And this one has 4 hooks in the front. This one is slightly smaller. The sizes are mentioned here. Your peacock and parrot design, key holders. Imagine having something like this on the wall. And then the final piece that I wanted to show you are the trays. And then we have the trays in 3 sizes today. This is your larger one. Again, your peacock and parrot. These are woven just to make these trays. Look at this. Pure silk tray. You have a smaller one, and then you have the very small one for 2 cups here. And here is your cap, your Marathi style cap. Look at this with zari work on it. So here, very interesting. And then here is a khana, your khan fabric clutch here in green. This also looks very nice. And then we also have it in chikankari fabric. So we tried different fabrics. Look at this. Chikankari in the front and back. And this is your khana. So check out these clutches. They go very well with your ethnic ensemble. And now we're going to move on to our Banarasis and Gadwals. Let's start with the Banarasis. I'm going to showcase the bestsellers. The saris have been bestsellers for a reason. Look at this peacock blue dual tone with your jal. Look at the design of the jal, a wavy design, and it drapes so nicely. There's actually a model picture of this sari. Beautiful color. And look at this. Very, very pretty, pure Banarsi silk sari in shades of blue and green. Dual tone. And then this design has been around for like 5+ years now, and every color in this particular design is a standout piece. You will see a model picture of this. This one is a bright blue, like a lighter than a navy blue, a beautiful blue shade. And here is your beautiful Paitani style pallu, meenakari borders, and a patola brocade in pure Banarsi. So here is your next sari. The link is being posted. And I'm going to show you 2 more. Another bestseller saris. Whenever we have these scallop border saris, they are a hit. I personally love scallop border saris. And this one is a deep bottle green. Now the sari just came, but if you notice the model picture, it has scallops on it. We'll get the scallops done before it's shipped out. So beautiful vertical stripes, pure Banarsi silk sari. Look at the tassels, and this is how this particular sari drapes. I mean, you can look at the model picture, but here it is, and the scallops will be done. And then a beautiful mushroom silk. We have so many mushroom silks. The weight of the sari, the feel of the sari, it feels so royal. And then look at the deep garnet color, and it's got minimal zari borders to let the silk do its talking. And look at the stunning two-line Tanchoi Meenakari pallu, finished with tassels. This is your Tanchoi weave, the back side, seamless. And here is your mushroom silk fabric, and then it has this Tanchoi blouse piece with zari meena. So here is your next sari. And then we have a fusion sari today. If you remember, I wore something very similar with a peach border 2 trunk shows back, and we did the same fabric for the body and mustard shot with borders for the borders and pallu. This is a Banarsi fusion, and check out the pallu. There are absolutely no raw edges. A very, very dazzling sari here. Look at this. Finished with tassels, and it comes with a mustard blouse piece. Here, your mustard pure silk Banarsi blouse piece. And like I said, there are absolutely no loose threads, no raw edges, and it looks very dazzling when you wear it. And then there are two gadwals that I want to show before we wrap up today's show. We have so many gadwals on Kanjivaram. They are a very loved category because, very fast moving. Whenever new saris come, they are quickly taken. And this beautiful sari comes in a rust orange shade, a shade that is very, very trending. And look at the beautiful arch-shaped borders, really wide, like 12 inches, and small bootas on the body. And you can't go wrong with this sari. Check this out. Very beautiful sari in a rust color, rust orange. Rust orange is a very flattering color. The sari would look very nice with a contrasting blouse piece. And here is your next sari in a pure silk handloom gadwal. And then I'm going to show you one brocade gadwal before we wrap up today's show. And the orange was interesting because today is day 7 of Navratri. Today's color is orange. So I had to show you at least one orange sari today. Now the next one is also a handloom gadwal sari. This one is a brocade, and this is a sage green color. So like a greenish gray tone. It's got a paisley jal, very intricate paisley jal. Let me show this very, very closely to you. Look at how intricate it is. Even the paisleys have ornate work inside of them. And then it comes with a corvée contrast in maroon, equal with borders. And these are hand woven treasures, truly hand woven treasures. And looks very regal. Look at the shine of the zari against the sage green backdrop. And here is how this particular sari drapes. And then, like I said, we have so many other gadwals. We'll post the gadwal link for you to check them out. And on that note, let's wrap up today's show. A huge thanks to everyone who joined in, who took time out. Today is a very busy weekend. It's the Navratri weekend. There's so much going on, but thanks to everyone who's joined in today. And for those of you who missed out, the code for today, there is a special sale. There are 3 tiers. If you purchase above 999, you get to use the code 10 TEN for 10% off your order. If you purchase above 499, you get to use the code 7 SEVEN for 7% off your order. And for all orders above 199, you can use the code 5 FIVE to get 5% off your order. And Also, I always say this, there's a lot of effort that goes behind to putting every collection together, especially as we do these trunk shows every week. And huge thanks to the team, who made this possible. Heartfelt gratitude, because they've been working day and night to put this together. And I also do want to say that all orders to the US ship tariff free. So the prices that you see on the website are the final prices. There are absolutely no surprises later. What you pay upfront is what you pay overall. So, on that note, it's me, Aparna, signing off. Hoping to see you again very soon. A very, very happy Navratri and the